What is good? What is up? It's Jordan or Texans Thoughts, and I'm back with another Texans film breakdown. Today, we are going to be looking at Jordan Akins' 2019 season, and shoutouts to those who recommended him will be right after the film. Akins can honestly be the key to the Texans season. A lot of people like to compare the speed and weapons we've got on offense to the Kansas City Chiefs, and how we are trying to replicate their success. Well, I love that. They have one thing that we don't: an elite mismatched tight end in Kelce. We know firsthand just how dominant that can be, and while I'm not saying Akins is as good as Kelce, he has the potential to play that role for us. He's a freak athlete and has all the upside in the world. Going into his third year, which is usually the year that tight ends break out, he can take this offense to another level. So if you enjoyed the video, please do hit that like button, subscribe for more content, and comment down below your thoughts on the video. Now, let's break down the film of Jordan Akins, because the film don't lie. So the most important part of Akins' game is obviously his athleticism, and we saw especially last year how that elite athleticism can translate to yak. And there's definitely no better play than his 53-yard touchdown against the Chargers to show off his speed. Akins is an athlete, man. He originally played baseball in the minor leagues for 4 years, and when he transitioned to football, he was originally a wide receiver, and you can definitely see his wide receiver speed translate to tight end. Now, unfortunately, he didn't test at the combine because he wasn't fully healthy at the time, but that's honestly a blessing, because if he did, we wouldn't have been able to even draft him where we did. You know, freak athlete tight ends like him don't just grow on trees. But it's not only his speed that's a weapon, it's his agility and elusiveness that comes with being the freak athlete that he is, that it makes him so dangerous as well. And having that mismatch weapon that we can trust to beat linebackers in space and pick up extra yards is such a luxury to have. On this next play against the Chiefs, he uses a really nice jump cut that makes him look like a damn running back, and it's especially useful for how we use our tight ends, you know, dumping it off to them underneath. And fellas, he's not your yak guy, but Akins, you give him the ball just 2 yards past the line of scrimmage and he can go get you a first. And it's little plays like these ones that make all the difference, where, you know, even if he only got like 3 or 4 extra yards, when he's doing this on such a consistent basis, it really starts to add up and really helps to take our offense to the next dynamic level. And if you want to put a safety on him to try and keep up with his athleticism, he's just going to shrug off any tackle attempt, because not only is he fast, agile, and elusive, but he's also a strong dude. This safety's going to try and hold on to Akins and try and tackle him high and just pull him down, but he's got no chance. And you know, he's not going to draw the best defender on him with all the weapons we've got. How are you supposed to match up? You want to take away all the deep stuff? Fine, we can just hit Akins underneath and he can still turn it into a 15 or 20 yard gain. I also just love his pure effort to gain yak. You gotta have the drive and be willing to fight for extra yards, and that's on full display with Akins. Once defenders finally get close enough to tackle him, he ain't going down without a fight. He's gonna keep running his legs and fight for every inch of grass. It's the little things like these that really show off your heart, grit, and determination. You know, he doesn't need to fight for yak. He can fall to the ground as soon as he catches the pass. But he's not satisfied with that, which is a quality in a player that you just have to love. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is how Akins has the potential to be more productive than we've seen so far. There were a good amount of opportunities last year where Akins was open and, you know, it just didn't work out. You know, no quarterback is perfect. Watson isn't always going to get through every single read or find everyone who's open, but hopefully when he rewatches the film from last season, he sees all of these opportunities where he could have found Akins and just keeps that in the back of his mind. You know, he's someone that Watson can trust and needs to look for a bit more. On this play, the Raiders are in a cover 4 zone and Akins is going to get open for a touchdown here. We're running a smash concept on the right side to attack this cornerback, and so Duke is running a hitch route to pull it down the defender into the flat, and the guy in Akins' position, he usually runs a corner route to get over top of that cornerback as he comes down to deal with the flat. And on this one, he's going to be kind of running a slot fade instead of really a sharp corner route here, but it works in the same way. And so the cornerback, he's going to bite down on Duke, and Akins is home free. Look at all the space he has, that if Deshaun Watson looked his way, that's 6. But Deshaun didn't look his way. You know, it's a missed opportunity. And if we look at the end zone view, we're going to see that Watson, he makes a half field read here. And maybe that's part of the play call, maybe it's not. But he's just laser focused on DeAndre Hopkins on this left side and never even takes a peek at the right side. It's funny, you know, the trade of Hop pissed me off like nothing else. Man, was I furious. But we're stuck without him now and we gotta move on. And in the process of moving on, I'm trying to see the positives that can come from not having that elite wide receiver 1. And one thing it does is it doesn't force Watson to try and make Nuke happy, try and force feed him the ball and hone in on him when he's supposed to be making these progressions. Now, I'm not a mind reader, I can't guarantee that's what's happening, but it kind of happens with every star wide receiver. That's just how it goes. And if you watch the film, there are tons of examples of Watson staring down Nuke and missing open receivers in the process. On this play, we're going to get a great view from the end zone where, it just looks like Watson is keying in on Nuke the entire way. After the snap, he looks to the left because that's where Nuke is. Then as Nuke crosses to the middle, he looks middle and checks how the safeties are positioned post snap. Nuke is covered, but Watson just never turns his head to the right where he could have found an open Akins. And yeah, because he's freaking Deshaun Watson, he still almost completes this, but he just made it way harder on himself than he needed to. Now, to give the Broncos credit, they did a great job to disguise their coverage and give Watson a bunch of different looks pre and post snap. At first, they've got a cover 2 man look. With the 2 high safeties, that part's pretty obvious, but then what makes me think it's man is that this linebacker is kind of lined up over Nuke in the slot, and this linebacker is head up over Duke. It just looks like man. Now, before the snap, the linebacker starts to stunt towards the line of scrimmage and show blitz. And so Watson is going to be thinking he might have to get rid of the ball out quickly, but then post snap, the linebacker backs up from his blitz. And so Watson's thinking, okay, no blitz, but it's still a man look, right? Well, let's see. So at this point, the Broncos are in a middle of field open look, where there's a hole in the defense right in the middle of the field. So just keep that in mind for a second. Now, in addition, this nickel cornerback, he's going to be bailing out from his position. He's hauling ass to get into this deep half zone to replace this safety who he was originally in the deep half, but now he's rotating into a Tampa 2 zone position. And so what that does is it changes the defense from middle of field open to middle of field closed. That hole is all plugged up now by this safety. And so they really changed what Watson was seeing pre and post snap, which deters Watson because he was hoping he could go to Nuke on this deep over route, and if the Broncos stayed in middle of field open, he could have hit Nuke. But now the safety's in perfect position to shut that down. But here's the thing about quarterback play is that even if the defense fools you originally, Watson still has routes on the field to complete the first down. The soft spot in a Tampa 2 is going to be in this hole above the flat and below the deep half safety, and this is called the hole shot. So he's got Akins on this corner route right into the hole, and he can beat this coverage. It needs to be a perfect throw, but it's very doable. Reading the leverages of both the cornerback and safety, they aren't in good enough position to stop this if he makes a perfect throw. And since the cornerback is a bit closer to Akins than the safety is, and the safety's not driving downhill aggressively, Watson needs to lead Akins just a bit upfield, placing the ball around here, and that's a very, very makeable throw for Watson. He can make that throw in his sleep. But as we saw from the end zone view, he just never looks Akins' way, and he never gives him the opportunity to make a play. And one area of the field I hope they attack more with Akins is the seams. Right past the linebackers and just before the safeties, this should be a money spot for Akins. And that's exactly where he's attacking on this play. So pre-snap, the Raiders are showing a cover 3, and that makes this middle of field closed. And Akins' route doesn't look very promising. However, post-snap, they roll to a cover 6, where this defender is going to take a deep half, and these two guys are going to take a deep quarter zone each. And so now we've got more of a middle of field open look for Watson to hit Akins for a huge gain if he can lead him inside just a little bit up the seam. And they don't connect on this play, but I really think Akins' speed makes him so useful in getting past the linebackers and settling in that area to be a threat. And believe it or not, but this is actually the one and only time all season that they connected up the seam like this, because they just didn't ask Akins to run a lot of routes like this. But with their offense moving to hopefully this more vertical, deep passing game, we're going to be attacking the seams a lot more and utilizing Akins in that way. And so no player is perfect, and if Akins can improve on his route running, that would really make him legit scary and getting close to that Travis Kelce level. It's not like he can't run routes, he does a great job on this out and up right here, but it's just about getting more consistent with it. He's improved every year, and I love how he's being more physical at the stem to slightly push off and create space. He snaps off that route really sharply to create that window. Now this one is one of my favorite routes of his all year. He's running an out route, and off the snap, he hops on the release to give himself that two-way go and keep the linebacker guessing. Then he fires upfield, and he wants to win outside, right? So he hits him with a subtle lean inside, and then at the stem, boom, hard plant, and explode to the outside. And he creates so much space, man. That's a huge throwing window. And so like I said, it's not like he's awful, he's just able to win with his athleticism pretty often that you feel like you can get away with not running a perfect route every single time. And to get to that next level, he's just got to be more consistent with adding nuances and details to his route, like he's shown he's capable of doing. And on this one, he's got to do a better job of beating their hands, because guys are going to jam you, guys are going to get physical with you, and you got to fight back and use a chop or rip or whatever to get off of them. And if there's one more area of his game that he could improve on, it's his blocking. And you know, I'm not going to kill him for this, because that's just not really his game. He's a great receiving threat, and he doesn't need to hang his hat on blocking. But if he's ever going to get to that next level, the Kelces, the Kittles of the world, he's got to be a true complete tight end. And also, we rely heavily on our tight ends in the running game, so him getting to at least an average level would be amazing and a huge plus for us. Even if he can just cut out the negative plays, that would be a huge bonus. And one thing I would be looking into that could be interesting is if we run a lot more screens this year trying to get the ball into our weapons' hands, he's got to make better blocks than this in space. He's just sold Kenny Stills out to dry, man. And sometimes it's just the awareness of blocking the right guy, which can be tough to decipher in the Texans offense, but he should just never be running right in front of Hyde this late into the play, and he knows it too. I mean, look at this. He knows he's going to get some laps in practice next week for this one, man. He looked impressed. Alright, that'll do it for my Jordan Akins film breakdown. Thank you to those who recommended I make this video, so shout out to Making Moves All Day, Football 2, Gabriel Porter, 10-inch, Making Moves All Day again, appreciate you man, and Sherm. I apologize if I pronounced anyone's names wrong or missed your Akins comment. I love interacting with y'all in the comments below and want to hear your feedback. Now back to Akins, I think I was pretty fair in assessing what he does well and what he can still work on. People in the NFL world way smarter than me always say that a young tight end will break out in their third year. And if Akins can take a jump, man, our offense will literally be unstoppable, bro. He's got so much potential and he can really add that dimension of someone Watson can count on to move the sticks on third down. So if you enjoyed the video, please do hit that like button, subscribe for more content, and comment down below your thoughts on the video. If you're still listening, you're a real one. I appreciate you, and the question of the day is, who do you think is our tight end of the future? Is it Akins, Kahale Waring, or Jordan Thomas, or maybe none of the three? Maybe they're not even on the roster yet. Let me know. Also, I'm a part of Texans Unfiltered. We've got a great website where I write about the Texans and a weekly podcast as well. So if you're itching for more Texans content, we got you. The links will be in the description. Alright, this was Jordan or Texans Thoughts. Hope you enjoyed and come back for more. Take care everyone, and remember, the film don't lie.